Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guy, and this is episode number 16 of the first person shooter series. And in this video we are going to try to finish up our weapon system, our weapon switching system. So if you remember, in the last video we had this system where, well, we have got basically two weapons right now, a pistol and a rifle, and I can press, by default I've got the pistol equipped. I can press 1 to switch to the pistol again, and if I press 1 again, then I go back to, well, the default position here, and if I hold it I am currently like at 000 and I can't shoot or do anything else, but that's a bit weird. And if I go to 2, then you can see that I get this rifle, and that is pretty awesome. But of course, if I switch to 1 again, I get the full ammo, which is of course not something that we want, because we are essentially just basically spawning a new gun every time. So we want to change this. So how are we going to do that? Well, I've got an interesting idea for this. What we can do is, instead of doing this, we are going to keep in a array of weapons. Yeah, let's actually do that. So you can see that we basically got a dictionary of well, we can just basically add in an array of weapons. So just a weapon array can call weapons, let's call this weapons map, and then let's change this to weapons. And what I will do is, I will you might actually want to change it to an array list. Yeah, let's change that to an array list of type, let's call it weapon, and that's better. So what we are going to do is, change that to just list, and we don't want to be using system.collection. So right click, come on, control dot and remove. Alright, that's better. Now what you can see is, what we are going to do is, in the start method, once we have added all the weapons to the weapon map, we actually do not need to do this at all. In fact, for this, instead of having a weapon called new weapon and taking that in, we are going to create take in an int called I. Alright, let's do that, and let's just remove all of the code in here. We will fix all of the errors later, but we don't need to have this weapons map at all right now. We can instead just have in an array of key codes. So I'm going to call this a key code array called keys, and what we are going to do is basically, let me just remove this and then this as well. By the way, we can just call 0, I guess, here, and that makes a lot of sense. And what we are going to do is, we are going to set this keys is equal to like this, and what this is going to contain is basically a key code dot alpha 1 and key code dot alpha 2. Alright, so that's the idea. And we have got this here. Let's just change it to keys, and we are going to go ahead and check if well, let's change this to key, and if this is equal to the key value, well, we will have to use a normal for loop, I think. So just go ahead and create a for loop here. I is equal to length, not I less than keys dot length I plus plus. What we are going to do is, we are going to check if keys I, if, come on, input dot get key keys I. What we are going to do is, we are going to go ahead and say, we are going to just call switch weapon with I. That's better. Now what we want to do is, we have got this list of weapons called weapons, list of weapons, yeah, basically. So what we want to do in here is, we essentially want to spawn all of the weapons when we start the game. Why are we going to do that? Because, well, we need to. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go in the start method. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and say weapons dot add, and I'm going to just go ahead and say instantiate weapon, and we are going to instantiate the, for the origin, for the original we are going to choose the let me just, okay, we are going to choose the pistol, and for the other one we are going to just choose the, for the transform, we are going to just say weapon spawn. Now that's pretty interesting. I'm going to copy and paste that, and instead of using pistol here, I'm going to use rifle. And that's interesting, because now we can just add more weapons like that. And each time we do this, what we want to do in the end is we want to go add in a for each loop here, var called weapon in weapons. What we want to do is we want to say weapon dot game object dot set active is equal to false. Okay, actually, do you need the game object? Let me check. Yes, you do. Alright, so once we have done that, the idea is that all of the weapons will be inactive, and what we will do is we will just go ahead and set the weapon is equal to weapons. We will just call switch weapon 0. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just go ahead and call switch weapon 0, and what this will do essentially is that now we need to make sure that what our switch method is supposed to, weapon is supposed to do, it basically supposed to activate the current weapon instead of deleting it and spawning a new one. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to check if I is less than weapons dot length. Come on, it's supposed to have a property here, weapons dot capacity. No, not capacity, it's supposed to be weapons dot count. Alright, so if I is greater than or equal to weapons dot count, we are going to just return, because we don't want to cause a out of array, out of bounds exception here. And once we have done that, you can see what we want to do is essentially we want to make it so that we basically make that weapon active and set our weapon to that weapon. So yeah, let's just go ahead and say weapon is equal to weapons I, and then we are going to say weapon dot game object dot set active to be true, which will allow our weapon to actually be seen. Now that actually makes sense, because this is going to work. So like, yeah, let's go to Unity and let it compile, and let's see if that actually works. And first let me just verify my references. It's taking a little bit to compile, as you can see. And once it has compiled, I'm going to select my select the player, make sure that all of the references here are set correctly, hit play, and this should actually work. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that the first weapon has spawned, and if I press 1 again, oh, I cannot shoot for some reason. Okay, where did it cause that problem? Where did it cause that problem? It caused a line 99. Weapons dot count. If weapons and weapons dot count, get that the weapons is not equal to null. Yeah, that's better. So because our weapons might be null at the start, which might cause problems later, let's go ahead and let it compile. Yeah, it's still compiling, and now let's see. Well, I cannot shoot, it seems. For some reason I still cannot shoot, but let me just hit play again just to test, and what you should see is that I can actually let's see if I can shoot. Okay, it still does give a null reference exception at line 42, which happens to be this line where we are doing this. Of course, the reason for that is because we need to make sure if weapons is not equal to is equal to null, then what we are going to do is we are going to just say weapons is equal to new list of weapons. That's interesting, and that should work. So let's go to Unity now, and hopefully this will work. Let's see, because there are a couple of things that you have to manage to prevent getting null reference exceptions, which are really annoying. So now let me just start the game again, and let's see what happens. So currently it's still starting the game. Come on, do it quick. And yeah, now that's working, and if I try to shoot, you can see that actually works. Now if I hit 1 again, you can see that it doesn't cause any problems, but if I hit 2, I have got the rifle in my hand and I can actually shoot, and I can go back to 1, but that does not destroy the rifle, which is something that we want to do. We don't want to destroy it, we just want to disable it. So what we want to do is we want to go for each var weapon in weapons. What we want to do is we want to say weapon dot game object dot set active to be false. And actually, considering that we are doing it here, we actually don't even need to do it in here. We just need to call switch weapon, and that should cause everything to that should take care of everything here. So let's go to Unity now, and hopefully this will actually work. So yeah, let's wait for it to compile, and this is hopefully going to like work like a charm. And let's see, you can see it's still compiling, and once it has compiled, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and alright, shoot, and that does work, and we can change to this, and you can see I can shoot and that does work as well, and I can go back to weapon and it now works. By the way, when I change, oh, that's a bit weird. When I actually change the weapon, it causes this to spawn, which I'm not sure why. And the reason for that is very obvious, which we are going to have to change, which is the reason is that our muzzle flash VFX appears as soon as it's basically it's it starts as soon as it is spawned, which is something that we don't want it to do. So yeah, we'll try to fix that in the next video, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, and bye.